PlayStation Portal haters love to say it's the worst way to play games, and honestly, for some types of games, I get why they feel that way. The Portal can stream absolutely anything you play on your PS5, but that doesn't mean every type of game feels great on it. If you're trying to play ultra competitive, split-second ranked online shooters, you are going to have a bad time. But if you play to its strengths, it's the best handheld on the market for PlayStation players. So today, I'm breaking down the specific types of games that actually feel incredible on the PlayStation Portal. Let's get straight into it. The absolute king of PlayStation Portal has to be the roguelike genre. I'm talking about games like Vampire Survivors, games like Balatro, games like Blue Prince, and the Rogue Prince of Persia. The reason this genre works so flawlessly on the streaming handheld is the quick run loop. These games are built around 15 to 30 minute sessions, where you start, die, upgrade, and repeat. It's the ultimate pick up and play genre. You just turn the Portal on, do a quick run of Balatro, while you're waiting for dinner to cook, and put it right back to sleep. Word of warning though, I say these are great for quick, gameplay sessions. Vampire Survivors, Balatro, these kind of games are so addictive. If you've never played these games, don't be put off by the old school visuals. Just boot them up on your Portal via remote play or via cloud streaming, and you will be hooked, I guarantee it. These games are so addictive, so much fun, and fantastic on the PlayStation Portal, especially when you're short of time, or maybe something's on the TV on the big screen, the family's watching something you don't really want to watch. You can play these games and chill out on the Portal. Trust me, it is absolute bliss. Next up, we have what is actually on the Portal right now, fighting games, but specifically single player focused fighting games. Now you might think, streaming a fighting game over Wi-Fi is a terrible idea. And, if you're playing, competitive ranked online matches, it is. I would avoid doing that. But if you are diving into the offline arcade or story modes of games like, Mortal Kombat 1, King of Fighters 15, Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, or Dead or Alive 6. There's so many amazing fighting games you can play on the Portal, and it is just brilliant on the PlayStation Portal. The D-pad on the Portal is the standard DualSense D-pad, making your inputs, super crisp and accurate. Playing these kind of offline game modes, it means a millisecond of network lag won't ruin your match, so you get to practice your combos right from the comfort of your sofa and have a blast. Seriously, there's nothing better than just bashing buttons, playing some of these amazing fighting games on the PlayStation Portal. Especially the story modes, and some of them are so good, like play through the story mode of Mortal Kombat 1 and see what I mean. Speaking of multiplayer, let's talk about PvE. So that usually means player versus environment. The ultimate example of this right now is Helldivers 2. The reason PvE works on the Portal while PvP doesn't work so well, in my opinion, is just the stress factor. In a chaotic, non-competitive co-op game like Helldivers, if your screen drops a frame, who cares? You're probably just getting blown up by your own teammates' airstrike anyways. It's pure chaotic fun where the streaming latency simply doesn't ruin the experience. Plus, if you jump into this with a couple of mates, it's honestly the most fun you can have in online multiplayer these days. I think it is so good. Jump in and check it out and spread managed democracy about the galaxy. Next up, we have arcade-style shoot-em-ups, or shmups as they're more commonly known. I'm talking about PlayStation classics like, Super Stardust Portable, the legendary Resogun. I just loved that game on PS4. And on PS5, the incredible Signe All Guns Blazing. These twin-stick shooter mechanic games translate perfectly to the Portal's analog sticks. Visually, these games pop. The dark backgrounds mixed with the bright neon particle effects and explosions just look amazing on that 8-inch LCD screen of the Portal. It is fast, visual arcade action that requires zero long-term time commitment, apart from Signe All Guns Blazing is tough as nails. Moving on to racing games, honestly, racing is just an absolute blast on this device. Whether you are taking, on the beautiful realistic tracks of Gran Turismo, tearing through rally stages of, WRC, or causing absolute chaos in something like Burnout Paradise, it feels incredible playing these games on this device. I think it's just the whole connection that you're getting PS5 graphics on such a tiny screen and small device because it is being streamed from your PS5 or from the cloud. It is just wild when you're playing on this. You're kind of like, whoa! Even blisteringly fast anti-grav racers, even blisteringly fast anti-gravity racers like Wipeout and Redout play brilliantly. You get that intense sense of speed, especially when you're holding this Portal screen up close to your face, and you can just enjoy the haptic feedback of the DualSense triggers as you drift around corners. It's high-speed fun that handles, minor network latency really well. I kind of think your brain actually adapts to it so you don't even notice it, because I really don't. I do have a good network connection, which is obviously key. You need a good internet connection to use this device at all. That should be the blanket statement for all of these games. And real quick, since we are talking about the best types of games, what specific top 10 games list do you want to see me cover next on the channel? Top 10 shooters, top 10 PS2 classics, top 10 RPGs? Drop me a comment down below right now and let me know, because I'm going to be reading them all to plan the next video. Anyways, back to the list. If you want the ultimate chill on the couch vibe, you need to be playing cozy or narrative games on your Portal, games like Coffee Talk, or these narrative games are just hooking me in, like Dispatch. It is freaking amazing. Or, FMV type games where it's like a virtual, interactive movie like The Complex. These games require absolutely zero twitch reflexes. You can actually turn all the interaction off and just watch it if you want. Streaming these to a handheld device feels like reading a really good interactive book in bed. You aren't fighting the controls. You aren't fighting the network. You are just getting completely absorbed in the story. And, that's what the Portal's all about, just getting absorbed in your games. Right alongside narrative games, we have the strategy and management genre. I'm talking about building cities in Tropical 6, managing theme parks in Jurassic World Evolution, 1 and 2, or running a university in Two Point Campus. This is the ultimate genre for the Portal because you completely dictate the pace of the game. If your kid wakes up, your dinosaur park isn't going to instantly burn down because you've had to look away. Lag literally doesn't matter when you are in a building game like this. And surprisingly, I thought the small screen might impact this with the menus, being lots of text and stuff. But no, it's great. It works perfectly. Well readable, very well playable, and a great way to play these games because these games can hoover you in and you can play these for hours. We absolutely cannot forget about RPGs. Honestly, games like Final Fantasy VII Remake, the Like a Dragon games, or the Yakuza games, and the massive world of games like Cyberpunk 2077 just feel awesome on this handheld. RPGs are all about immersion, exploring, and sometimes having to grind to get your level up. Being able to run through Night City while relaxing on the couch makes leveling up your character feel, far less of a chore. The massive, beautiful worlds just look amazing on the 1080p screen of the Portal. It really pops. And some of these big games can take a long time, so it helps you get through your games, get through your backlogs, and, enjoy it and then get on to the next one. Now, speaking of big games, let's talk about the massive PlayStation blockbusters. Open world action adventure games like The Last of Us Part 1, the Spider-Man games, or new games that are heading our way like Pragmata. Because these games are so heavily story driven, they actually lend themselves perfectly to chilling out and making real progress on the Portal. There's something about having the Portal device, up close to your face, with your hands physically on the DualSense controllers on it. It makes it just really immersive. In fact, here's a big bonus I've noticed. I actually pick up my phone way less when I'm playing games on the Portal compared to when I'm just, chilling on the sofa holding a DualSense in front of the big TV. You're just completely locked into the world, whether you're swinging through New York as Miles Morales or surviving, The Last of Us. That is the secret sauce of this device. It just absolutely hoovers you in to the world. Immersion is top tier. Honestly, people, that's the thing that's probably surprised me most about the Portal, because I wouldn't have expected that, going from the bigger screen to the smaller screen. It's kind of weird, but yeah, let me know if any of you find that. Okay, coming in next is horror games. Look, I'll be the first to admit it. I am a massive scaredy cat. Playing games like Resident Evil Village or, Resident Evil 3 Remake on a massive TV and pitch black is terrifying. But playing them on a 8-inch screen of the Portal, sitting in the living room with the lights on, it just takes the edge off, that I can actually enjoy them and not be too scared. Plus, plug in some really good headphones like the Pulse Explorer or Elite headphones, and you'll get that incredible 3D audio, which does actually make it way scarier. So if you want to be really brave, play your scary games in the dark on the Portal with a headset on. It's probably one of the best way to play horror games. And now the genre that feels most at home on the Portal, in my opinion, and one that I probably play the most on the Portal, and that is classic games. Whether it's like PS2 classics like Tomb Raider Anniversary, PSP classics like Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. You can then go all the way back to the PlayStation 1 with games like Jet Rider, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, or Tekken 3. And these games were built for a different era, but it makes them look so much better on the smaller screen versus blown up on a huge OLED screen where they do show their age. The slower pacing and the retro mechanics, are really forgiving to any streaming latency you might experience also, which is a nice bonus. And they're adding more and more retro games to buy on the PlayStation Store and via PS Plus Premium. So there's never been a better time to go back and check out all of these legendary franchises which you maybe grew up with or you missed out on, or maybe you're too young and you want to go back and experience these now. That to me is another big benefit of the Portal, checking out games that you've maybe never played before and maybe wouldn't. Now you've got no excuse, you've got the time, you've got the device right in the palm of your hands. Fire them up and have a good time. And if you want to make sure your PlayStation Portal is running at its absolute best for all of these games, I've got a full breakdown of the best Portal settings and tips in this video on screen right now. Click that one and I'll see you over there on that video.